All right, it looks like we are ready for our next game, so sit back, dream a few dreams, and enjoy The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX Randomizer by darthplagal. The stage is all yours.
Hello, everybody. Good time zone. Thanks for being here. I'm darthplagal. This is Link's Awakening DX Randomizer, which, as the name suggests, is a randomizer for Link's Awakening DX. We're going to enjoy a nice 4-instrument trip through Koholint Island today, which is just a nice, fun, more marathon-friendly, more marathon-safe experience. And this is Link's Awakening. It's not Zelda 1, but it's still dangerous to go alone. So I have brought friends. Hi, Danny Music.
Oh my gosh, that is a fantastic segue. Hello! I am super excited to enjoy this run. I myself am a music, so the instruments are very near and dear to my heart. And also near and dear to my heart is this game. Link's Awakening Deluxe was the first Zelda game that I ever played. Love the randomizer, love seeing darthplagal do it, and it's going to be a fantastic show.
Thanks. Speaking of first, Danny is the first person I saw play any Zelda randomizer, and it wasn't this one, but he is very good at this one, and I'm very glad that he's here, and I'm very glad that everyone here is here and raising money for a good cause. So I'm ready to get started. So I'm gonna get going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Also, thanks to everyone for participating in the bid war. You have selected Martha, who is the mermaid character who's part of the trading quest. So she's going to be hanging out on land, trying to collect the instruments so that she can get off the island. And we're going to start off with bombs, which is interesting.
Ooh.
That is very nice to see. Unlike in some other Zelda randomizers, I need to find bombs as an item. In A Link to the Past, you can get bombs as drops. You can buy them from the shop. But I need to pick them up as an item here, and that means that just like in the original game, there's only one thing I can technically do in logic right now. But our overall goal is the same. We're going to collect 4 instruments instead of 8. We've reorchestrated ourselves down to a quartet from an octet. But today's Windfish is a lighter sleeper, and we're going to use those to open the egg and fight the nightmares and get what would have been Link but is now a mermaid, the island. And it's gonna be fun.
Someday Martha will get legs.
Yeah. I mean, I think lots of people have probably had dreams where they get to be mermaids, which sounds like a lot of fun.
So the bombs have led to the magic powder, which is kind of stingy of the game, giving us 2 items that are more collectibles. You notice that the magic powder does expire if we happen to run out of powder or out of bombs. Then we can go back to Martha's house, Link's house, where there is a friendly ghost who is kind of an annoying side quest in the original game, but here we like the ghost because they'll restore all of our inventory items for free.
Yes, let's just take a quick look here. The ghost lives here, and because I'm at 5 magic powder, let's actually demonstrate that right now. The dialogue here is referring to what Danny was talking about. In the vanilla game, you finish Angler Tunnel and the ghost is suddenly following you, wants to be taken back to its house, wants to be taken back to its grave, keeps tasking you why you're not doing this faster. That's not part of the randomizer. It's just the ghost has found a new purpose in giving us free stuff, which is very nice.
Classic escort missions in video games, am I right?
Yeah. And that, if I'm not mistaken, is the reason why I think a lot of the vanilla speedruns are routed like they are, where you go into Angler Tunnel, get the flippers, leave, do the rest of the game, and then get the instrument right at the end, because not only does it place you right next to the egg, you don't end up having to do the side quest. And there is the power bracelet. The power bracelet is extremely necessary. It's gating about 1/3 of the island. You should see what just happened to my tracker. It's fine. But I can now get a whole lot of stuff in here. We would normally get this in Dungeon 2, which will, I should say that with 4 instruments, any 4 instruments will open the egg. There is a separate mode that would tell us which of the 4 instruments we would actually need. But for today, we can arrange this any way the seed wants us to. The path usually makes itself clear on this setting as we go, so it's anybody's guess what our orchestration could be. The first of 3 magic bats. He's gonna give us some money. That's fine. Is there? Do you think there are 3 distinct magic bats, or does the same magic bat keep moving?
I like to think it's the same magic bat.
I like it too, because there's only one in A Link to the Past.
Maybe it's just a very because they come from like this underground area, so maybe there are like multiple entrances to the area, and then they can pop out. I like to think that the Magic Bat has access to a shortcut, some sort of system of fast travel that we do not.
Yeah, there's a whole third layer of maps that maybe we can't see. So I'm already having to refill that powder for the second time. I now have money though, which is a nice thing because I'm going to come here to the trendy game where we peeked in before and saw the boots. I've never won shoes from a carnival game, but that's Randomizer for you.
Time for everything.
I mean, we're a mermaid, so clearly the shoes are gonna fit, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah.
It does
They
show
will still
only.
help her run faster.
It does show only one boot, so.
Yes, that's true. That's an excellent point. The game was ready. The game was prepared. But yeah, I'm super happy to be here. This is my second Power Up for Pride event. I did the raid train back in the fall, not the fall, the winter, and where I played a completely different set of settings that had a little bit more chaos and had a really fun time. So I'm very happy to be back for the marathon.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here too. And happy Lilac is here. Everybody's here.
Yay.
So there are 2 trees I can run into and get stuff that are specifically items. I should say that we don't have key or dungeon or entrance or box shuffle on today. This is a standard randomizer mode, except for the fact that the egg will open up with 4 instruments instead of 8. So you can set any number, including 0, which is an interesting thing. And the way you end up playing the game will change a lot depending on what you choose, because you might still end up needing certain items for the final boss fight, which are not actually necessarily needed for dungeons, which is that's fun when they don't show up until later. I'll take it just for tracking purposes, so that I have a sense of what the game might be expecting of me.
So the golden leaves, there are 5 of them in total. They are normally used to go through Richard's villa, where you can dig up the slime key. Richard himself asks you to rescue the golden leaves from Camelot Castle. For us, there are ways around that, and it's very infrequent that the stuff that the golden leaves lead to will amount to anything, but who knows?
Anything could happen. This is the other tree that you can run into and get stuff, and so that brings us up to 4 secret seashells. Secret seashells are fun! In that they in the vanilla game, they're a collectible item that is really only gating one thing. If you go into a certain place with 20 secret seashells, you will get the level 2 sword, which is not required. It's just a nice to have. Like, it's not like A Link to the Past, where certain swords will gate certain things, and hello, Sale. Normally Sale has bananas, he sells bananas. Today this is Sale's House of Tail Keys, which is gonna get us into Dungeon 1. Sale likes to eat canned food in full, without opening it. It makes him happy.
Sale does have a fantastic tail.
He does, and a hat. It's a very nice hat. So these are not supposed to be super early game locations. There's the red tunic. There are 2 tunic upgrades. Well, they're not progressive updates like they are in, say, A Link to the Past, but they, right now I am more powerful, but my defense has come down a bit. So I would love to find some more health soon if the game wants to indulge me, which it might not. We'll see.
So another cool tidbit about the randomizer for this game: if we manage to make it through the game without dying once, if you do that in the vanilla game, there's an extra screen where it basically congratulates you on your achievement. But in the randomizer, that has been replaced with a picture of a cat or someone else's other pet.
It's very cute, yeah. The
Is it-
developer discovered that the thank you screen that Danny just mentioned was actually an image and could be replaced with any other image. So for a long time, there was it was always the same photo of one of his cats, and then he opened it up to the community, and people started submitting photos of their own pets, which is it's such a nice thing.
Yeah, it's absolutely
if I-
adorable.
Mind if
Oh, go ahead.
I cut in for something?
Absolutely.
All right. I want to say we had some raiders come in, and just want to say this is Power Up with Pride 2026. We're raising money for Point of Pride. And I want to say that we have a $100.59 donation from Alice Rujasu. Let's get that Marin date. And that puts us up to 559 cents. So we've got about $200-ish left until our goal. If I remember correctly, that goal can be any time until the end of the run.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
We will stop what we're doing, and let Marin go on a date with a mermaid. If I'm
Yeah.
like something like in the middle of a boss fight, I will finish whatever that is. But yeah, we won't wait until the end of the run. We'll head back down to the beach and experience one of the game's loveliest scenes.
The date sequence
Which I
is
don't think-
absolutely adorable, and
Yeah.
especially with it being prideful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's true. It's true. We're gonna get a girl date, which is super fitting.
I have faith that we can get there. We can do it.
Oh, totally. Ooh, a nice ribbon. You are supposed to have a weapon, like a meaningful weapon, by the time you come in here. And I do not. I very much do not. I am armed with bombs and magic powder now, which is definitely a thing. But that's okay. There are a lot of weapons, and many of them are very powerful, and I have to hope that one of them will materialize soon. That's okay, I'm realizing.
Yeah. To be able to defeat those hard hat beetles with bombs is so difficult. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, they're one of the easiest ways to beat them if you don't have an actual. And that's the blue. Well, I have both tunics, or all 3 tunics if we're counting the green one, which we should. It's a tunic. A lot of the time, the easiest thing to do there is to knock them into a pit if there is one. And this is our 3rd refill.
We're getting a lot of use out of the ghost today.
The ghost is really well. The ghost's house is also in Martha's Bay, which is so maybe that's very fitting. Okay, we're just gonna turn Yip Yip into the world's most stylish dog. She looks so nice. I am gonna get fishing game over with.
All right.
I usually put off fishing game because it's longer. There is no way, if you're not using tasks, to get the fish you need to get on the first go. So I will have to get this one on the top out of the way first. Sometimes one of the fish closer to the left decide to butt in, and then you need an extra round. Sometimes the large fish gets away, but that's not going to happen today, right? It's not. I have faith.
Fun fact, so Link's Awakening was the first Zelda game that I ever played, and because of the fishing game, I thought that there were actual fish types called runts and lunkers,
Oh, that's
where you have like trout or bass or whatever. But anyway,
You thought
fishing
that-
game gave us a pretty nice rod out of the end of it, huh?
Fishing game, yeah. Yeah, that paid off. Really glad I didn't put that off for too long. It would have eventually made itself known to me. I am going to need the sword. If you've played any version of this game before, you know that a lot of the other weapons are very, very powerful, and especially with the Game Boy versions, the boomerang is very, very OP. It's at the end of the vanilla trading quest for a reason, but it's not a straight-up replacement for the sword. I am going to need a sword. Certain bosses and mini-bosses will only take damage from a sword, so...
One of the other uses of the swords is those crystals that darthplagal just broke. They can only be destroyed with a sword in this game. In the oracles, though, that's not the case. They can be moved out of the way with other items.
Yeah, if you've, I also enjoy the Oracle games a lot. Danny's really good at those randomizers as well. That's a thing on my list to learn someday. But they use a lot of the same sprite assets or similarly inspired sprite assets as Link's Awakening, and a lot of things look the same but function very, very differently. Another difference we might see, I won't be going in there without the shield, but there's a... Okay, that was good. Thank you, Blue Tunic. I totally thought I was gonna get killed there. There's a spiked beetle that can only be in this game flipped over with the shield, but in the Oracle games you can use the shovel. And this game also has a shovel, but the shovel does not work for that purpose, so...
Yeah. Just some of the differences.
Yeah.
The randomizer for Link's Awakening also does have an Oracle mode that does change a couple mechanics like those. Unfortunately, I don't believe that flipping over the beetles with a shovel is possible in Oracle mode.
It's not. The main differences in Oracle mode is that it's considered a hard mode, and it does things like reduce the number of heart drops. In this game, your own bombs, I can demonstrate this right now. I'm not going to get damaged by this bomb that I put down, I guess because it works for me. But in the Oracle games, all bombs will damage you, which is more in line with other Zelda games. And because the bomb doesn't damage me, there's no recoil from the bomb, so I can't do any bomb jumping in this particular mode. I think people have been trying to sort out how feasible that might be with Oracle mode on, but it's not. Oops.
Oh.
That wasn't real. That money wasn't real. That'll happen sometime. We got our first seashell trade in now.
Well, you get that seashells trade in. Mind if I cut in?
Go for it.
Sure.
Guess what? We are getting that date.
Yo, okay. That was fantastic timing.
Yeah.
Really
Thanks
great
to
timing.
thanks to a $200 donation from Super Blood Wolf Moon. Thank you very much. They say, I refuse to allow a lesbian date to not happen this afternoon.
Perfect.
Love that.
Perfect. The timing on
Thank you
that
so
could
much.
not have been better. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone.
The timing on that was perfect, because the 5 seashell check gave me the flying rooster, which is the thing that's actually going to let me go to the east side of the island and actually complete that date sequence. You can have Marin follow you around everywhere. I also just think that the remainder of the date sequence with because then we get to hear her sing. Oops, I can also fly a bit. All right, I won't mash through this too quick because it's very sweet. How cute.
Aww.
With the tail in the back.
Yeah. I feel like my heart also skipped a beat when I first found out about Power with Pride, so same, Marin, same. So good, and
So good.
on these settings, this is our only chance to hear the little fanfare that you hear when you normally get the sword in the vanilla game on the beach. So we got to hear that too. So the rooster is fascinating. The rooster has a very, very small part to play in the vanilla game. It's a big part, but it's not very long. And in the randomizer, it really kind of breaks things wide open, but not in a way that I'm basically done right now. What's actually happening is that I can use it as right there I used it as a replacement for the flippers, which I don't have yet, because I'm able to fly over the water and land on the same screen. But I cannot screen transition with it, and I can't use it in dungeons. So that's the trade-off, and yeah, but honestly, the timing on that was great, because otherwise, we would have Maybe we would put Marin in some danger by bringing her around for a really long time.
Instead, Marin got to... I like that the mermaid is hanging onto the rooster, and then Marin is hanging onto the mermaid. The rooster's supporting everyone's weight.
Yeah, the rooster is strong.
Even in game it says it can carry immensely heavy loads, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, the rooster's function in the vanilla game is to get you through the bird key cave, which has the bird key, which has a huge pit in it that is not meant to be jumped normally. In this particular version of the game, which is the version that has all of the speedrun glitches available, there is a way to do it using the hookshot and menu buffering. It's not as easy as the greats make it look. I have never gotten it done, and it's cool. It's very cool to watch, but it's so here, this being a screen where I can leave, land, and then come land again on the same screen, we can bypass the need for the flippers if my controller will cooperate. There we go. And so now we are going to bring Marin to Animal Village. Marin can't be in... Marin's already here, I should say. Marin is already here, and we cannot have Marin in two places at once, so something interesting might happen sprite-wise, but everything's okay, don't worry about it. But first we're going to stop in and see Christine.
Oh, that was nice of Christine.
Yeah, I like it.
She gave us her whole heart.
See, Marin doesn't want everyone to know that she can be in two places at once, so she's gotta disguise herself for that one screen. And then this is the whole point of the Marin date sequence. In the vanilla game, this walrus is blocking the way into the desert, and the desert is where we would come to get the angler key, which would let us get into Dungeon 4. And so we are encouraged to go find Marin and bring her to the walrus, where she will wake him up with music, and this is more dramatic if he's not already out of the way, but he ends up falling. And then this is also just a bit of
a little glitchy.
Just a little bit. Just a bit.
I like to think Marin's trying to make the walrus a little bit more comfortable by also being an animal singing to them.
Yeah, that's all. So before we go into the desert, I'm just going to pop into this, which is Bomb Arrow Cave. I don't have arrows yet, so I can't show off bomb arrows at this moment. Bomb arrows are what happened if you equip bombs on one button and the arrows on another button. Hey!
Ooh, well, now we can show them off.
Wow. Okay, that, it's called Bomb Arrow Cave because if you do that, you will launch a projectile bomb and get rid of this rock, and if you had the hookshot, you could then hookshot to that rock. The second one that's still there. But I had the rooster, so I didn't need to do either. The timing on that was very funny. But bomb arrows are pretty broken, and the fact that they exist is one of the is the reason for one of the things that is actually really broken this game. That depending on we will definitely see it at least once, and maybe in a few other places.
It's interesting too because the bow in general is almost not a required item in this game. There's only one check that the bow specifically unlocks, and that is a statue in Turtle Rock, for which you have to shoot the eye. However, for the purposes of the randomizer, even though the bow is only strictly required for that one thing, it can still be very helpful in a lot of other scenarios.
Yes. It's also the intended way of fighting the final form of the final boss. In this version, they took this out of the Switch version, but in this version you can one-shot the boss with that form with the boomerang, if you have it. But that is not really what was expected. And because it's a randomizer, if you're trying to go fast, you might not want to spend a whole lot of time just trying to find the boomerang if you're otherwise in go mode. So it's 16 arrows, by the way. It's 16 arrows to the face, which is definitely more time consuming than using the boomerang. So
Yeah, and it can be very nervous. It can be very nerve-wracking if you run low on arrows too.
Yes, yes.
Because
So
the
it's
fight
very.
does not give you a way to replenish them.
It doesn't. You have to leave the egg and get more arrows, but just to buy them in the vanilla game, or you can be replenished up to 10. When we talked about the ghost refill earlier, it will only refill even if you've gotten the capacity upgrades. Like I already have the arrow capacity upgrade. The maximum refill is 10 in this version. I think in the archipelago version they've changed it so that it's it refills up to whatever it is you can carry. But yeah, I'm just gonna hunt around for some more stuff and then eventually start gathering some instruments so we can figure out figuring out what our ensemble is going to look like at the end of this. I should say I can get myself into Dungeon 2 and finish it. I can get myself into Dungeon 2 now, but I can finish it as soon as we have the feather. The feather is also the other absolutely 100% required item, unless you are into many very intense tricks that I'm not. The game's broken. In a lot of ways.
The feather is the biggest thing that's blocking your progress right now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other places to look until we find it. Ooh,
okay.
There's a good item.
This is very good too, yes. So we now don't have to do 16 arrows to the face.
Yeah,
There
so
are
the
jokes
boomerang,
in this game. Right, go
the
ahead.
boomerang in this game is the reward that you get for completing the entire trade sequence, which is optional otherwise. The boomerang, as you can see, it destroys these enemies. It doesn't just stun them like it does in Link to the Past. It's a very powerful damage-dealing weapon.
And one of the trade-offs is it does not work on everything, which is why I am not using it on the Solomon boss. I mentioned before that there are some bosses and mini-bosses that only take sword damage. This is one of them. So this is normally where we would come to rescue Bow Wow, who is best boy. But instead we're going to find a pineapple.
We can rescue that pineapple.
We can, yes, yeah. It was been held hostage, and
We've stopped the bad guys from, I don't know. What do people do with pineapples? They're gonna put them on pizza!
oh no!
Does their evil know no bounds?
Yeah, so I was saying before, I could have, in fact, I'll just show this off real quick. The boomerang will take care of these poisonous blossoms here in Gaponga Swamp. That's not the intended way. The intended vanilla way is Bow Wow. You don't get the boomerang until much later. But if you have the power bracelet and you clip just enough, those flowers are just a suggestion, so we can just stroll on by, but it is also a bit faster to just crush them. Already 11 seashells, that's interesting. But because this dungeon did actually, with the boomerang, enter normal logic, I will take a quick peek inside at the small number of checks that I can actually do. Because some of them might be important. This is normally where you would get the power bracelet, like we were saying before. This is also a really useful dungeon for explaining how key logic works in this game, which is very different from how it would work in A Link to the Past. I have one small key. This door below me is locked. It has one chest. I know that this room cannot have a small key, because small keys in this randomizer and in this mode cannot gate themselves exclusively.
In A Link to the Past, it also generally depends on your settings, but
Right.
for the most part, a key can lock a small key can lock another small key.
Yeah, so these open checks here can and in fact usually are all small keys, yeah, just like that. I can't go further in this dungeon until I have the feather, because of this room. It is technically possible to do it with just the boots, but I am not going to try that. I have tried it, it's not fun.
Yep, and just a reminder, even though we have the rooster to be able to fly in the overworld, the rooster can't be used in dungeons.
Correct. That is the trade-off. We've been talking about music a lot, so let's go to Telltale Heights.
Sure. Oh my gosh,
But-
some of the best music in the series.
I know, it rules. So your access deeper into the mountain to get anything worthwhile, like Danny was talking about these crystals before, is also gated by the sword. There are lots of fancy out of logic things you can do. There's a very timing specific trick in that room involving a hookshot clip, but I also don't have that. Okay,
Ooh.
no complaints there.
Yeah.
The magic rod is kind of like the fire rod equivalent, except it's not fire, it's magic. Normally you would get it in Dungeon 8, and it's like the boomerang, very powerful, but it's sometimes a replacement for the sword, but not all the time. So.
You also notice that we picked up the Yoshi doll. The Yoshi doll is the first item of the trading sequence. The sequence that's in a couple of older Zelda games where you trade one item and get another item, which is then traded for a third item, and so on and so forth until you finally get something very valuable at the end. The trading sequence here starts with the Yoshi doll, and this check is along the path. Papal asking for some victuals, and by victuals he means pineapple specifically. He won't take any other
Yes.
food.
Yeah, there's a lot of food in the trading quest. You had food, Papal.
Oh my gosh!
Papal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Papal, he won't take bananas. He'll only take the pineapple. He's a man of very particular tastes, apparently.
I mean, I can understand him not taking the dog food. That makes sense. But oh, that's funny.
You're starving on the mountain, but he only wants pineapple.
Yeah, the bananas are actually meant to be given to another NPC. We'll see. We'll trade those in a bit. Who's also has a counterpart in A Link to the Past.
Yeah. So one other thing that I was going to say about the Yoshi doll is the message that you see when the Yoshi doll is picked up is recently he seems to be showing up in many games. For the Switch remake of Link's Awakening, they actually changed this message in a way that I find adorable. It's something along the lines of, he's appeared in too many games to count now.
That made me so happy. As a person who grew up on OG pre-DX Link's Awakening, which is maybe a good moment to say this has all of the Link's Awakening DX isms. That game came out 5 years after the original for the Game Boy Color, and really wanted to show off the Game Boy Color's color functionality. So there's a whole additional dungeon in this game where you would complete the dungeon and get your choice of either the red or blue tunics. And then you could actually go back into the dungeon and talk to the fairy again and swap them if you wanted to swap them, is my understanding. So Color Dungeon is in the randomizer as well, and because of the settings that we're on, and because there are only 2 non-dungeon items in the original, and because all of the small keys and other dungeon items like Nightmare Keys, the maps, compasses, and stone beaks are all randomized within that dungeon, there are only going to be two checks in there. So that's not a place I prioritize when I'm playing this, because it's sometimes you got to do the whole dungeon to find out that it's 50 rupees and a heart piece, which not to throw shade on those items, are not they're not progression. So. And then sometimes something very important is there, and I just live with it.
So this cave right here is the thing that you're intended to do with the rooster, specifically. Yeah. This would normally lead to the bird key, which is how you unlock Dungeon 7. But here, just 50 rupees. Also, if you happen to fall down any of these pits, then it can be pretty disastrous in a speedrun, because you start at the bottom of the waterfall and have to climb
down
back.
here, down that lower level here that we can see right now. That's the reason. And if you're trying that hookshot jump I mentioned earlier, and you fall, you will end up there, and you have to go all the way back in and start over. It's not like a fall back to the start of the screen situation. So.
And that's really the only pit that kind of works that way.
Yeah, all the other ones will just sort of place you back where you entered the screen.
Oh, I have a message.
Yes.
We just got a $1,000 donation
Oh my
from
goodness.
Iris. And the message says, "My life has been better than I ever thought possible since I transitioned. I'm surrounded by love, and over the last year and a half, have become the happiest, bubbliest, truest version of myself, and I want to help by paying that forward. Happy Pride, love y'all. Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you that you're feeling
Yeah.
really comfortable and are happy after your transition. That's really
Yeah.
awesome to hear.
Not only
Yeah.
that, it broke us past $3,500. We are at $3,635.67 total for the marathon. Amazing, y'all.
That's
I have
all
one.
you do.
I have one additional message too. We have opened up not one, but two new incentives. One of them is a bid war for Contra Shattered Soldier between Bill Reiser and Lucia. And the second one is a target to add the Super Mario World 11 exit to Super Mario All-Stars Shuffler. So go ahead, hit exclamation point donate, and go ahead and donate for those goals.
Those sound awesome.
Excellent.
I picked up the second sword there. The second sword is more powerful. If I'm at full health, it'll shoot sword beams. Kind of similar to what the Master Sword does in A Link to the Past. It definitely does speed up a lot of fights, but it's not actually really gating anything. But it is very nice to have. And so is that magic powder upgrade.
Yeah.
We can give the ghost a break, I think. We can also come in here. I think this is a very expensive stick.
What a stick. One stick for 200 rupees.
It's a lot, right? Okay, so we're not gonna steal. Stealing is bad. We also don't want our nice file name renamed Thief. But what we can do is save and quit pretty quickly, and we don't have to pay full price for the item. It still considers me as having purchased it legally. I like to joke that it's like having a discount card for being a frequent shopper or something. That also works backwards though. So just so you know, that if you don't save and quit out of getting money, because it will stop wherever it stops. Also, I have tried the save and quit out of paying full price in the Link to the Past, and it does not work there.
Correct, it does not. Oh, that is a good point that it is a deluxe stick.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Yeah, we get the same text that we would for the shovel. The shovel. Another thing that has an equivalent in games like A Link to the Past, and there are also shovels in the Oracle games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
For digging out of snow in Oracle of Seasons, among other things.
Yeah. Oracle of Seasons, you impersonate Santa Claus, and then
As
you go down an NPC's chimney, and then the NPC is disappointed that you're not actually Santa, gives you the shovel, and forces you to shovel her walk. And that's the only way of returning out of her house. Not the bees!
Exactly. I never in a marathon would never want to rob Chad of the opportunity to say not the bees. So, not the bees. There's a honeycomb there in vanilla, which is also part of the training quest. We would give that to the bear chef, who has just run out of honeycomb, and he would give us the pineapple that we would then take up to Papal. But we already have 12 seashells, which means we can do our second trade-in, and that is also going to position us to hand in those bananas very nicely.
Yeah. In the regular game, the way this works is that if you have exactly 5 seashells or exactly 10 seashells, then those would be the totals you would need in order to get these items. However, for the randomizer, they changed it and made it a little bit nicely, where at least 5 and at least 10 will still work.
Yeah, it's partially a soft lock prevention mechanism, because say you have 5 and you're on your way there and you do a check and you get 6, that you don't want that to lock you out of the 5 seashell item, especially if it's important. But we brought Kiki some bananas, and Kiki is so excited that all of Kiki's friends are here to help build the bridge. And speaking of...
Oh, there's a shovel. I dig it.
I also dig it. The shovel unlocks 6 checks. It's a bit more versatile than its counterpart in A Link to the Past, but interesting.
Yep, that was one of the 6 checks.
Yep. Yeah, so I'll just circle back and do some of those. And now that we have that, we can also show off that that the skip Danny was talking about earlier that would prevent us from needing all 5 golden leaves. Although I do have 4. So the fact that I have 4 is also indicating to me that whatever is under the villa might be something the game really, really wants me to get. So we'll get this one here, and we'll head on back to the villa area. This is so far this is shaping up to be one of those seeds where once I get the feather, we can start clearing instruments pretty quickly. You can't dig with the boomerang apparently. Who knew? This return home feature is a randomizer addition that's really, really nice. Also partially a soft lock prevention mechanism, because say you have entrance, there are entrance modes where you can end up shuffling the water entrances that just drop you into water, and you might not have the flippers, and you don't want to get stuck there forever, so you would be able to warp back home. Speaking of Oracle mode, actually, that's another one of the differences, is that in the Oracle games, if you enter deep water without the flippers, you will take damage. In this default game, you won't, but Oracle mode will make it so that you would. So that's another change. If I say as I accidentally momentarily forget I don't have the flipper. That's okay. Here's another of the dig locations, and then we're going to trick the game into thinking we're doing something we're not, which is always very, very fun. This is the thing, this is the only thing in the game where I actually need to focus on the sound for a second, because I need to listen for... Too far. I need to listen for something that needs to happen. Come on. Game? There we go.
Nicely
So what happens?
done.
Thank you. I would love to get a shorter response time than that, but it worked. I didn't fall down the hole, which was the important thing. What we did there was we tricked the game into thinking, is this?
Wow, vanilla slime key.
Huh.
Well, that is, we're still looking for that feather, but once we get it, things are gonna get very musical very fast. But what we did there was we tricked the game into, there were 2 things going on there. One is that I technically fell down the pit, and the other is that the screen transition happened. And in that situation, the game is going to prioritize the screen transition. Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right, the 5 golden leaves are very much required this time around.
Yes, they were. Anyway, this is Richard. These are his frogs. We just climbed out of his basement, even though he's never seen us before. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But since we're close to Key Cavern, let's get that one done first.
Yeah, so those 2 checks that darthplagal just glitched into, that's normally the reward for collecting the 5 golden leaves. If you talk to Richard, Richard asks you to go to kind of... In the vanilla game, if you talk to Richard, Richard asks you to go to kind of the castle to assemble the 5 leaves. You come back with the leaves, and he opens the way to the basement. The basement leads to the slime key. But with the trick that darthplagal did, darthplagal was able to circumvent that and go to the dig spot, which also coincidentally happened to have the vanilla slime key, as well as the feather in Richard's basement. So those 2 checks are gated by the 5 golden leaves. We do have 4 of the 5, so the 5th one is going to be somewhere early on, I'm sure.
It's going to be somewhere, and we know that it's not going to be in here, and it's not going to be somewhere where the game would normally expect me to have the feather. Because I am playing on what we call normal logic. Things are either in logic or they aren't. But I might, over the course of the rest of the run, start talking about glitched or hard, or even hell logic, which is a thing. And that just means that when you set up a seed, you can tell the game what kinds of things that it's free to expect from you. So if I had glitched logic on, the game might expect me to do that, and then and in fact, the feather under the villa is actually really interesting and really funny, because most people would want the feather to do villa skip. The rooster way is oh hello.
Ooh.
It's an instrument.
Also technically a required item.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, it's as soon as we know how to swim, we're gonna do the most important thing this game has to offer. So yeah, it's very required. At last we've got a map. This game might oversell the excitement of getting maps just the tiniest bit. Also, I think I super jumped there and did not mention it at all. So sorry about that. But yeah, you can also, speaking of tricking the game, we can trick the game through some specific inputs into thinking that I've jumped off a ledge when I haven't, and that can help you get over some obstacles as well. Ack. That's okay.
Even in the regular game, it's often the case where people want to avoid collecting the pieces of power or the guardian acorns just to dodge the text. At least here the text moves quickly.
There's a single arrow, which I believe is a shout out to our Link to the Past friends.
I like how it's ... joy ?
Joy, maybe? If you hit these bomb guys with a sword or similar weapon, they will start a countdown and then they will blow up. And I didn't know until I played the randomizer the game doesn't count that as fully despawning them. So if I were to do that and then come back out the same way I came in, they would all be back there, and I would have to fight them again to get the door open. Okay, I did not know that would work. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, those bomb guys are also enemies that... I believe it only takes the sword, or is there something else that you can use with them?
There's either you can activate them with the boomerang, I think, and also the magic rod.
Okay.
But I think there are certain enemies the hookshot doesn't work on. The Stalfos in this game take no damage from the magic rod, which is very interesting because I know that Stalfos in A Link to the Past do take fire rod damage, but it's not fire, it's magic. As the game wants to remind us. So in here, this is a good example of, we've got this flying bomb refill item. There are also flying arrow and flying magic powder refills. If I didn't have magic powder, there's Bow Wow!
Ah, nice.
We freed Best Boy. This is not where he normally is. If I didn't have magic powder and I jumped up and grabbed one of the flying magic powder items, it would give me magic powder. But that doesn't work with bombs. I'm supposed to find a bomb item. It kind of works like bomb bags in Ocarina of Time. Speaking of bombs, I'm only feeling like bombing one Dodongo though.
Just one?
Just you know. Just one. We're gonna leave here and come back. This only works. Dodongos exist in other instances in the game, but here, where they are the dungeon mini boss and beating them leads to the warp tile. I think the game seems to be programmed to only load 2 Dodongos or no Dodongos. So it doesn't know what to do if there's only one left. And so it's a nice time site to only have to fight one. Although I recently learned that is
to bomb some Dodongo.
Yes, one singular Dodongo. Recently learned that is a glitch though, and you cannot do it in the glitchless speedrun. The more you know. So this is the dungeon where you would normally get the boots in vanilla, so we're going to have to use the boots to beat... Oh, I should really have checked what that item was. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, I think you can jump. You can get back to it after the fight.
Yeah, that's true. So we are required to use the boots. I think you only have to use it just for this final one to split it apart, but I've always just run at it. Level 2 sword makes the second phase a little bit faster. And that was actually my last non-dungeon item, so I don't need to. We got the necklace. The necklace is actually what you give to the mermaid. So that's fitting. As part of the trading quest. And our first instrument is the Sea Lily's Bell. Cool. Here we get a bit of a nudge to what our next item would be. If we were playing this in vanilla order, but I can't actually, I can get in there. I can get into Dungeon 4 right now, but I can't actually, I can't finish it without the flippers, which may or may not be there. So, speaking of Canalit Castle, actually, I have a lot of options available to me, but I think the most important thing to do is that, be to go get a few more instruments, so...
Yeah.
We'll head on down to Dungeon 1.
Yep, so we were in Tail Cave earlier. The item that you would normally get from Dungeon 1 from Tail Cave is the Rock's Feather, which lets you jump over the gaps. So now that darthplagal has the Rock's Feather, we'll be able to complete that.
Yeah. There is a way I could have technically tried to get over the gap with the boots. You can do a sort of wall bonk. It doesn't always... I didn't have the boomerang when I came in here, which I like to have if I'm going to try that to get rid of the sparks. Here, I will do... This is the first super jump I learned, so I always try to do it as much as I can.
Very clean.
It's... That's a really helpful one if you're playing in a keys mode, because it'll help you get through this dungeon with one fewer small key. I'm able to do this because I do have the Nightmare Key. It is technically possible that the Nightmare Key could have been in the one shield lock location in this dungeon. Also, I already messed up a few times. I tend to, not everyone does this, but it is sometimes nice to, if you don't get the 3 of the kinds, to leave the room and come back, because sometimes they can have... Wow!
Well, that's perfect then.
This is like the 3rd time...
Full clearable.
We fortunately have all the non-dungeon items from here, so if we did need to go down there, and we might need to use that in Angler Tunnel, the flippers at this point would be go mode. Just another interesting thing, because I have everything I need to complete Dungeon 4 other than that. You can do a surprising amount in Dungeon 4 without them, but you can't fight the final boss, which is an underwater side-scroller. And now we have the Full Moon Cello to go with our Sea Lily's Bell.
Yeah. Full Moon Cello playing in the high register of the cello? Gorgeous.
Music in this game is just so good.
It's so good. When I say the flippers are go mode, the flippers are technically go mode in logic. If the nice thing about this is that I don't think we'll run into this problem, but if we're starting to worry about time at all, I can also you know what? It's not even really breaking into Turtle Rock, because we have the ocarina and we have Frog Song of Soul, which is technically what's required to get us into Turtle Rock. You can also get in there with what's called a bomb trigger. When I was talking about how bomb arrows are basically an indication of how broken the game can be. It has to do with how bomb arrows are coded. That you can, if you were to drop 2 projectiles at the same time, which you can do by... I'm actually really not good at explaining bomb triggers. Which you can do by screen transitioning while holding your bomb button. Some game magic happens and you essentially end up loading any available cutscene if there's one available to you. And the opening of Turtle Rock is one of those cutscenes. So it is possible to get there without the ocarina or the song or either. It's a bit of a finicky, one of the more finicky bomb triggers though. So we'll see if it comes to it. It's a good escape hatch if it comes to it. But here, I did not have to wall bonk, which is very nice. Not that I would try. We We would normally get the power bracelet in Dungeon 2, so we'll be using that for several of the last few puzzles and also the boss as well. There's a power bracelet upgrade that you would normally get in Dungeon 6, but I don't have access to Dungeon 6 for 2 distinct other reasons now, so we're not going to worry about that at the moment.
Darthplagal, you've been playing the 4 instrument modes a lot. What would you say is the rarest dungeon to complete as one of your 4?
That is a good question, and it really depends on the seed. I would say Dungeon 2 is definitely the most common, because everything you need to get into Dungeon 2 is needed for something else. I don't have any other small keys. Because all the dungeons are gated by something, right? So 5 of them are gated by by dungeon access keys, and the others are gated by something else. Like you need, as soon as you can swim, you can get into Catfish's Maw, but you can't complete it until you have feather sword bombs and the hookshot.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what the game's giving you, and you can sort of clue into what they're going to be based on what items you're getting early. Like Tail Cave requires very few items other than you can beat it with the sword and a feather, but you need to find the tail key, and you also have to hope that if you say you don't have bombs or you don't have a shield, that the nightmare key is not in one of those gated locations in the dungeon. So it depends a lot. I think it's a really interesting category because it can end up, even though there's a lot of consistency in terms of, like, this dungeon I was fully expecting that we would do this dungeon today. But it's
yeah, that makes sense that this one would be one of the more common ones because it doesn't
Yeah.
have a specific key requirement.
Right.
The way that Tail Cave only opens with the tail key, Key Cavern only opens with the slime key, etc.
Yeah. If you know that wall clip I showed off earlier, it's actually quite easy to break in here, but the boomerang, magic rod, hookshot, and level 2 sword will all take out the swamp blossoms. And so will Bow Wow. He'll do his vanilla job, so. There are also many ways to get in normal logic as well. So this is Bottle Genie. He's kind of a jerk. He's gonna throw fire at us.
Do you want to talk about the cool trick to shorten this fight?
Oh yes. So we're supposed to throw the bottle at the wall, right? And then that will damage the bottle, and he'll come back and tell us that, we're still not going to break his bottle with just our miserable sword. But if we clip into the wall here and throw the bottle, it breaks right away.
This avoids 2 entire sequences of the genie throwing fire at us.
Yeah, huge difference. But the thing I was already known to the Zelda community, but I didn't know until it happened to me, is that if you do that in the French or German versions, the trick works, and you create a second genie.
I didn't know
You gotta
that.
fight both.
That's
How
a
does that
nightmare.
happen?
You gotta fight both of them. It's not so bad if they stay on the same script. They just move around together and you end up hitting them both at the same time. But if one of them goes off script and you've got 2 genies flying in opposite directions, that's not the most fun time, we'll say. Also, imagine it happening to you without knowing it's coming. But you do get 2 heart containers,
Trade-offs, I guess.
which is kind of a nice thing. So
Big
here,
risk, big
because
payoff.
yeah, Bow Wow's doing his thing. Bow Wow, if in the randomizer, only appears in the swamp area. That's also a bit of a soft lock prevention mechanism. In the vanilla game, there are a lot of really cute interactions with other characters. If you're bringing Bow Wow around, you rescue Bow Wow, and then you're kind of tasked with taking him for a walk, which is sort of your nudge to go to the swamp, where he will eat the flowers and let you get inside. That clip I did earlier only works with if you've lifted the rocks from the opposite side, and you can't do that with a power bracelet. So it's a rando exclusive fun thing. But speaking of Candlelit Castle, we're gonna kind of sneak in from the north, and there are 5 checks in here.
1 for each golden leaf.
Exactly. And one of them might even be a golden leaf.
True. We haven't
we've
found the
already-
5th one yet.
We've already you know, we had vanilla slime key, so 14 seashells, interesting. So yeah, 2 of the leaves are outside the castle on either side, and then the remaining 3 are indoors. I have everything I need now to get all, not only get all 5 checks, but show off a fun boomerang thing, which is one of my favorite things that's really only useful in the randomizer. There's the mirror shield.
Mirror shield.
Okay, you know what? That is actually go mode. Because I now have full access to Dungeon 8. So I still want to show off the boomerang thing, and I think we're pacing pretty well. So we'll wrap up Candlelit Castle here and then head back up the mountain. Everybody wants to hear Telltale Heights again.
I actually really like the Candlelit Castle. It's very dark. With just
very
a single
mysterious.
thing.
Yeah. So the whole deal with Richard's visiting us from a completely different game. It was a bit of a crossover moment. He tells you he used to live in the castle and he got thrown out. But there's that switch in there that will activate the bridge outside so that you don't need to go through that side scroller again. But you know, I guess all the enemies knew not to step on that switch. So I can just, because I have the boomerang goes over these guardrails, and I can not only take out the ball and chain guard, but also take the item, which saves having to go out and then in the other door again. Link's Awakening started as a planned Game Boy version of A Link to the Past, which is why Candlelit Castle is mostly located where Hyrule Castle is, and also has that sort of upper door function
it's a similar shape.
Yeah. Very interesting in entrance modes as well. Because say you find the interior of Candlelit, you can go in, hit that switch, open the gate to that large bridge, and then get access to the front door of the castle. So that's a cool thing. There are a lot of really cool modes available in the randomizer. I enjoy a whole lot of things. There's bingo if you enjoy bingo. It's a good time. The community's great.
It's a pretty robust randomizer. There are a lot of different ways that you can play and enjoy the game. And part of what I like about randomizers in particular is it's a unique way of getting something fresh out of the game that you might have played several times before growing up as a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool combination of nostalgia and still adding something new.
Yep, definitely. And you can, I know a lot of people have used randomizers as sort of gateway into speedrunning the vanilla game, if that's something they want to do, because I mean, a lot of the tricks are transferable. But you can also end up, in this one, in my experience, there are a lot of cool things in here that would not actually be possible in the vanilla game, because you just wouldn't have those items at that time, and so I think that's a really cool thing too. That you can discover things the developers probably didn't even realize would happen. Oops. I still don't have the flipper. Which is okay. We have a rooster who will carry us everywhere we need to go. Now, if I had finished Dungeon 7 and gotten the Organ of Evening Calm, on the next screen to my left, Marin would be here, having been stranded by some monsters. That's part of the plot development. At that point, you're becoming aware of the fact that the game is actually a dream. Link, or in this case, Martha and Marin are becoming more attached to each other, and you've been warned that if you wake the windfish, the whole island's going to disappear, and that sounds bad. And so there's this really kind of tug at the heartstrings scene on the bridge when you end up helping her not be stranded. But the trigger for that is the Organ of Evening Calm, which I do not have. small bit of a time save there.
Speedrunners found ways to avoid that cutscene where you're saving Marin and Marin thanks you.
Yeah. If you have the rooster, you can actually fly right past her, which seems harsh. I'm gonna do this the intended way, so I have the level 2 shield here, which is the mirror shield, which means I can just sort of reflect those beams. There are a few ways around that if you don't have the level 2 shield. One is to clip into the side of the wall, where you will only take half damage and not be pushed back. And the other is to have the medicine item, which I have right now, which is this game's kind of fairy equivalent. That doesn't have fairies that revive you. It's got fairies that will heal you sort of on the overworld. But if I were to lose all my hearts, that medicine would kick in. I'm gonna try the bomb trigger once and not get it. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not gonna make everybody watch me. Try it a few times. The horizontal ones are harder because you actually have to get 3 inputs at exactly the same time.
That's a hard break.
Yeah. So this fight will take. There's a way to. Sorry.
I was gonna say Turtle Rock is actually a turtle in this game.
A real turtle. So the point of Frog Song of Soul is that it makes everything around you feel more alive, and you use it for that purpose twice. One is in the rooster grave in the village, where you get the rooster. Don't think about it too much. And the other is to reawaken the turtle here so that we can actually get inside Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock being the last of the dungeons, it has we get a bit of a greatest hits tour of some of the past dungeons mini-bosses. So Hinox, there was a mini-boss, but he's not the mini-boss. The mini-boss is Blano, who is a boxer, who is gating the magic rod, but joke's on him, I already have the magic rod, so we might not see him at all.
Turtle Rock is a very non-linear dungeon, but essentially what we're looking for is the boss key, and as soon as we find the boss key, then we can go to the end pretty quickly and beat it, since we already have the magic rod.
Exactly.
So
You don't
the compass
actually need
is actually the compass is actually pretty nice because
yeah, because it's equipped with a new feature.
The feature will tell you if the key is in the room when you enter. So if the compass only if the compass beeps, could that possibly be the nightmare key that we're interested in?
I think, if I am not mistaken, it might still sound on these rooms like this, where it's where it drops down from the ceiling, because that would have been a small key. But yeah, in the original Game Boy version of Link's Awakening was the first one to do the compass sound thing, and every time you pick up a compass in a dungeon, they make sure to tell you that this compass has a new feature. You know, it kind of stopped being a new feature after Dungeon 1. But it's useful. Fire's a real pain, but if you have projectile weapons, it helps a lot.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the Switch remake if the message is still in that the compass is a new feature.
Oh yeah, good question. I don't think I noticed either. I was too distracted by the cute Yoshi update. Which rules. This is not the intended way to do this. and see, that's why. But okay, one more attempt and okay, forget it. At least I got hearts out of the deal. We will go some other way instead. Usually I'm very stubborn, and I insist on just doing that, but we're I will reduce my... There's marathon safety and there's marathon lack of stubbornness, so...
And there's the cat. We want to make sure we see the cat.
We do want to make sure we see the cat, yeah. So other people will bomb that wall there and go down a side scroller. I just like to restart from the dungeon. There is a check in here I can't do, I should say. Or actually there are a couple of checks in here I can't do because they are hookshot gated, so Hopefully the Nightmare Key is not in one of those chests, but the odds are favorable. There's still quite a lot to do. So you don't need all the keys that this dungeon gives you, because you can do things like that. This is another room that super jumps are very effective in, because it would let you skip that key that's up there on the right, top right hand side. And we were about to see the only truly arrow-gated check in this game that Danny mentioned earlier, which is right here.
Is it a hard required bow? Not a hard required bow.
It was not. The most annoying thing you can get is when the boomerang is there.
Oh yeah.
It just happened.
Then it is a hard required bow.
Yep.
For the purposes of being the final boss.
Yep. It is that big. That's 20 rupees, so what would that be? If you can get early access to Dungeon 8, it's very nice to be able to activate that portal, because it will save you a trip up the mountain if you have to leave and come back. It does add one more step to the portal process if you're trying to get somewhere else, but I think it's worth it. So these Dodongos are not super cooperating. This is a case I will have to bomb both Dodongos. Because
we
they
do
are
want to
not...
bomb them from here specifically.
Yeah. If you do end up on the lower level in this version of the game, it is possible to super jump, to clip into the, to use the door down at the bottom to clip into the wall, and then super jump on the next screen up to the... Okay. Alright, let's go to that room the intended way, the one I was trying to get to. And hope. And hope that the hookshot is there. Oh, not the hookshot, the Nightmare Key. If not, there's also a way to sneak in and we can go fight Cue Ball, and we can still go fight Bueno, so... That was the wrong way. And I've never made this jump, which is fine. Oops. I'm just not used to going, I'm used to just insisting on trying that longer jump until
I understand. It's all good.
Yeah. We are doing fine. It's this one. This is the one I want. No, you know what? I did go the right way. Actually, you know what? I did this. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I was... This is the hidden room. This is the... Technically, you're supposed to come here to flip this switch if you want to, actually be able to get the item, the magic rod, after fighting Bueno, because there's a little barrier of the race, which is when you first beat him. You can super jump that too. Super jumps were patched out, sadly. Okay. And here, we're gonna revisit a mini-boss we haven't seen yet because he's the mini-boss of Dungeon 6. This is Smasher. He just wants to play. He's also in the Oracle games. But they took out his little sound effect.
Yes, he doesn't make the boop boop sound in the Oracle game, sadly.
But it's so cute.
The fight is a little bit more difficult because in the Oracle games, the ball position resets after a little while. So if you're holding it, it can disappear from you. Oh wow, bird key is weird.
That is not the key I was expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, we can still use that if it comes to it, but, because... No, actually I can't, because I need the hookshot.
Yeah, I need the hookshot.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And if we get the hookshot, then we'd be able to beat this one for sure.
We'd be able to beat this one, yeah. Okay, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go see the actual... No, not the actual. One of the many other mini-bosses in this dungeon, who is actually the mini-boss of Dungeon 4, which I can access, but I haven't, I cannot beat without the flippers. Also, Turtle Rock is quite an item-heavy, item-dense dungeon. There are still 4 non-dungeon items that I haven't seen yet, so... This is Cue Ball. Cue Ball can only be attacked from the back of its head. We don't get the item right away. We instead get another puzzle.
Yeah. Cue Ball is the mini boss of Dungeon 4, and there in Dungeon 4 he's surrounded by water, but Cue Ball is so versatile he can swim in lava too.
Yep. Yeah, it's important to have multiple skill sets. Okay, it didn't make the sound, which is concerning. Alright, our last hope is Blano. And if it's not Blano, then I can't actually finish this dungeon after all. But I get to show off another super jump, so that's fun. This is another one that's very effective if you're playing key shuffle, because normally you would need a key to get through there and then a key to get past this block. But I have more than enough keys, but this also saves a bit of time. Level 2 sword's gonna help with Blano a lot.
That super jump is also helpful because we don't actually have the hook shot right now, and you're supposed to
Yes,
hook shot
there is
blocks.
there's also that. That's why it's showing up as glitch logic in my tracker. Okay, that's a good sound. I still don't have all the small keys, so that's a little bit worrisome. Although I wonder if this counts as a small key gated area. And here we go. This is the super jump I was talking about before, rather than have to go back and we are safe.
Wow. Good stuff.
We are safe. We still have some, it's still out of logic fun, but, who needs a hook shot, really? Except, you know, all the places where you, all the places where you need one, so. So yeah, I remember these ice block puzzles were always a little bit, you know, frustrating the first time, but once you know the patterns, they're pretty quick. If you don't have the fire rod, you get a message about how cold it is, and there must be some way to melt this. And here's Hothead.
Hothead is also aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to be woken up.
I mean, that's relatable sometimes. You know.
Great fight.
Yeah, he's
that can be tricky and very damaging.
It can't. Yeah, he's his positioning is can be really those little fireballs he's shooting at you do not mess around. Those are they deal quite a lot of damage. So we have all 4 instruments out of 8, out of the total possible 8. But the egg is going to open for us with 4 instead. So Danny, what do you think? We have a cello, we have a conch shell, a bell, and a drum. Do you feel that is well-rounded?
Yeah, well, we're a bit percussion heavy, but that's fine because we still have the strings, the smoothness of the cello as a contrast to that.
Yeah.
I could write some music for that ensemble.
Cool. I'm just wandering as I figure out where to go. I feel like, you know what? Canonically, because we have a bit of time, we're pacing well on time. We haven't actually learned the song. So maybe we should learn the song.
Good song.
Each of the alternate sprites has a very sweet like music animation. See, I think she's actually playing a shell there.
I love that. Very on theme.
There's a fox sprite that actually kind of like woos.
That's cute.
It's adorable, yeah. Sorry, I just saw the chat message that pointed out that yes, it would have been appropriate to have Go Mode Flippers as a mermaid.
Oh yeah, I guess this means that we're a mermaid who can't swim.
Yeah.
And sadly, that does mean that we don't get to hear the actual best song in the game.
Sadly, yeah. That is, you know, it's probably like, it's probably in... I don't know where that could be. But, you know, if you have
It's
never
all
heard
good.
Monbo's Monbo, please look it up. Because it is a delight.
We are big fans of Mambo's Mambo here, and
Yeah.
Darth Plagal on her personal channel has some Mambo's Mambo related emotes.
He's got backup dances. Like, oh. There is technically a way to do it without the flippers if you bomb trigger things in a very precise fashion. I have never successfully done it. I have 50 arrows. Actually, I don't need the arrows at all. Sorry, when I was, you know, as I started practicing for marathons, I started conditioning myself to like make sure I had safety arrows, just in case in case I had to do the arrow kill on Deathel.
First try.
As it turns out, we didn't actually need to learn the song from Marin. We just did it for the feelings. And it worked. I'm pretty sure I only heard 2 instruments there, but I'm not going to complain. Because
Despite having 2 percussion, I didn't really hear the drum.
I'm wondering if it's because they don't have like a like specific song for it for just those 4 instruments instead of the ones that are in like progression.
Yeah, it's possible. Like, I mean, this is actually a thing from Vanilla, where if you were to not have the full instruments, you could still go to the egg, still play the Ballad of the Windfish on your ocarina, and it would bring out the instruments you have. It just won't open the egg. But I guess it also, like, sound channels are probably also a factor.
That too, yeah.
Yeah. So I've equipped some weapons, believe it or not.
Oh, excellent. I see that the shovel is equipped.
The shovel is equipped. Danny, what's the most important and deadliest and most legendary weapon in Link to the Past?
In A Link to the Past?
Yeah.
It would be the bug catching net, or the filet, if you like the French term.
It is a good term. It is a delight. Yeah, you can use that as well as the hammer for the Aghanim fights. They will reflect the reflectable beams. We don't have one. We don't have one of those. What we have is a shovel. It does work. Yeah, speaking of fun personal channel emotes, Danny has amazing filet emotes. It's a big deal.
Shout out to Bonus Josh for that one.
A lot of the time you would not, you actually, the last thing you do in the trading quest if you are going to get the boomerang is that you trade the shovel most of the time in for the boomerang. So you don't really usually end up in this fight with both of those things. I don't know why the shovel works a bit against Aghanim, but it does, and because we have it, we're gonna do it. The first two, this is very similar to the Link to the Past fights, except that there is no lightning phase. There are only 2 different types of beams, reflectable and not. The first 2 are always guaranteed, and from here it's anybody's guess. I did one last practice seed last night. I came in slightly overestimate because of this guy. Personal worst was 14.
That's worse than my personal worst in A Link to the Past for sure. But yeah, specifically with the Aghanim fight, in A Link to the Past, you can use the shovel to reflect the balls back. Here you can use A Link to the Past, you can use the bug catching net to reflect the balls back. Here you can use the shovel, so it's kind of funny that there's a little bit of continuity for the Aghanim fight specifically.
He's willing to be fought with all manner of unexpected things. I respect it. That was Moldorm. Here's Ganon. It's a Zelda game, so Ganon appears very briefly. The level 2 sword makes very quick work of Ganon. We are very close to the end here. There are 2 final phases. There is 1 final phase. Yeah, the land mola will usually go down in 1 hit to a number of things. And this is Deathel. This is the guy you were supposed to, whose arms, spiky arms, you're supposed to avoid, and also, if he ever opens his eye, there we go. And that was Deathel. You're supposed to shoot him 16 times in the arrow, but you will one-shot him, like that, with the boomerang if you're positioned correctly. So that was the game. We're gonna cross over this bridge, the screen's gonna go white, and that is time.
Yeah. GG.
Time. Thank you. Thank you so
GGs.
much. 1 minute and 1 second under estimate. Or, by my count, so. And this is, if I am not mistaken, this is the first owl in the Zelda series. Power Up with Pride has defeated all the nightmares, which is a good way of thinking of that's what we're working to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so happy about this. Could the windfish be any more rainbow coated?
Well, oh my gosh, I love him. Especially with like the 2 comically small wings on his back. It's so good.
And my favorite part of any reduced instrument seed is that, check it out, we found the other 4, they were just inside the egg. And we get to hear the full version of Ballad of the Windfish. And that was Link's Awakening DX Rando with 4 instruments. I always enjoy a reduced instrument count. I love 8 instruments as well. I love keys. I love entrance. But it is nice to be able to. 4 instruments, I think, is a great way to show this off. Show off a lot of the game and a lot of the glitches and a lot of the cool stuff in a way that is I think is good for a marathon schedule. This is the second time I've gotten to do it in a marathon, and it's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's a nice mode. It's very approachable. So if you're looking to get into Link's Awakening Rando, 4 instruments is a nice one to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also a kind of mystery mode if you want to have a random short game or a random long game. The game will decide how many instruments you need, and you can find out by checking the signpost there that was next to the egg. And that is also where you would find out, if you choose to play a certain number of specific instruments, which instruments you need. Much like the sign outside Ganon's Tower, if you played A Link to the Past Randomizer, it's very similar. So this is the It Was All a Dream. Or was it? Oh, sorry, I was 1 screen early on, or was it? Forget I just said anything. Or was it? That was a ton of fun. I'm really glad I got to do this, and that everybody was here, and that people got into the bid war, and then we got to do the Marin date, and yeah, just a great time. So another thing that is a little bit different from some other randomizers is that the in-game time is actually going to be quite close to my real time, because the in-game timer keeps going through all of my saving and quitting. So it's not, it is still, it's less than a minute apart. Whereas in other randomizers, because of resetting and stuff, you can actually end up quite with quite different times. So it is if you don't want to have a real timer up, if you're trying to get your times down, this is actually still a pretty good pretty good estimate of how long it took. And we did it deathless!
Yeah,
Nice.
kind of cool that we collected half of the instruments, and we also got a little more than half of the checks.
It's true. Link's Awakening 50%.
If you want to experience the other 50%, you can play it yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a good time. Collection rates will usually be quite high if you're doing all 8 instruments, because you will end up doing all 8 dungeons, and yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to find. All of the secret seashells, the money rewards, we did see a fake money reward in there earlier where I picked up some money and souls dropped out of the ceiling. That exists. The worst place to get those is as the boss reward in a room, because that's like a kill room's a kill room, and you have to get rid of all the souls before the door to the instrument will open. But yeah, it's just really fun. I've been playing this for about 4 years. It's been really, I've got to meet a lot of cool people. The community is very helpful if you want to get started or if you want to take yourself further, and learn a lot of the really cool tricks. I showed some tricks off today. There's a whole world of stuff that some of which I know how to do and some of which I would not. I don't think I would. I'm not brave enough to attempt in a marathon, but it's great, and I enjoyed myself. And we're very close. The credits are ending, and we get to see 2 very special things. Because we went on the date sequence with Marin, we heard about her dreams of becoming a bird and flying out over the ocean. And we got to make that happen. But also, cat.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh, I
So
wasn't
cute.
expecting that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very curled up cat. Thank you,
Aw.
Galactica, for your presence.
For your presence and your coziness. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. Danny, thank you so much for doing this with me.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Thanks. Congratulations for Power Up with Pride. It's really awesome to see the total get raised, and there's a lot of more awesome segments to come.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, everybody. And the team. The team has been amazing as well. So
Mhm.
thank you so much for everything.
thank you very much. What a fantastic run of Link's Awakening. And stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back for the next run. Hello, I hope everyone is doing well. You are watching Power Up with Pride 2026. Stay tuned for the next game. I just wanted to state right now that we both have a target of to add the Super Mario World 11 exit. We have $5 going on to 500, thanks to a $5 donation from Corundum Core. And they say, donating to add Super Mario World 11 exit to the All-Stars Shuffler. More marathon equals better. And I totally agree. Furthermore, we also have a bid war going on for Contra Shattered Soldier for Bill Riser, and Lucia. me just the audio here. There. Okay. Oh, yeah. It does that sometimes. Alright, so when I undeafen the Power Up with Pride audio, I'll go ahead and introduce you when we're all ready. And just wait like a second or two so that Restream can swap over. And go ahead and introduce everything, including the